Здравствуйте, в студии Инна Воронина, и сегодня в нашем эфире гость, экс-чемпиона мира по шахматам Роберт Фишер. Со мной рядом в студии журналист и переводчик газеты «Родная» Ирина Орлова. Ирина, здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
Роберт Фишер сейчас находится в Исландии, и мы будем общаться с ним по телефону. Роберт, сейчас в Софии проходит крупный шахматный турнир, куда вас пригласили в качестве почетного гостя. Но вы вновь отказались приехать, на этот раз в Болгарию. Почему?
Mr. Fischer, hello. It's Irina. So in Sofia, our first question is, in Sofia there is a new big tournament, and it said that you were invited to this tournament, but you refused to go to Sofia. Why? Could you tell us?
Sofia, Bulgaria?
Right.
I don't know anything about this, no.
You weren't invited to this championships, yes?
No, not at all. This is rubbish. And first I heard about that.
Yes, it's wrong information.
Yeah.
So, do you keep us with the chess tournaments?
Not very much. No, I don't like chess. What is your name, Irina?
Yes.
Irina, I don't like chess anymore. I haven't liked chess for a long time. So, you know.
Мистер Фишер сказал, что он не следит вообще за турнирами по шахматам, что он больше не любит шахматы, что он закончил, он сказал, тогда объявил давно уже, что он не будет больше играть в шахматы, и поэтому не следит за чемпионатами.
Мистер Фишер, а чем вы сейчас занимаетесь в Исландии? Отдыхаете вы, работаете? Есть у вас какое-то другое хобби? Может быть, вы полюбили там верховую езду или играете в гольф?
So, Mr. Fischer, our second question is, what are you doing now in Iceland? Do you have just a rest, or maybe you have another hobby? I mean, except chess, of course.
Do I have what? Do I have?
A hobby? What are you doing now in Iceland?
I'm just relaxing. You know, I was kidnapped over in Japan. I was in a prison there for almost 9 months. You know, 8 months near a leaking nuclear power plant. So I'm still recovering from that. You know, I was brutalized. I was severely injured. You know, so I'm taking a rest now.
Yes, okay. Мистер Фишер сказал, что он сейчас отдыхает, просто расслабляется и восстанавливается после 9 месяцев, которые он провел в тюрьме в Японии.
You know, they have a leaking nuclear power plant over in Japan, the Tokaimura nuclear power plant. It's very similar to your situation like in Chernobyl, you know? And when they kidnapped me in Narita Airport. The Japs kidnapped me in Narita Airport on July 13th, 2004. And then they kept me in the prison there at the airport for about a month, over a month, until I think about August 10th, and then they took me over to the prison in Ushiku, which is only about 66 kilometers away from the Tokaimura nuclear power plant. You see, so I was near a leaking nuclear power plant for about 8 months. This is leaking nuclear radiation right now. It's been leaking nuclear radiation since 1999, when they had a massive nuclear accident there. And several people in the plant died, and you know, over 600 people in the city, in Tokai City, were irradiated. Got nuclear radiation poisoning from this accident. So they dragged me near a leaking nuclear power plant. That was a part of the conspiracy between the U.S. and Japan to damage my health. You know,
Yes.
very, very vicious. And they wouldn't let me go to court. They wouldn't let me see the judge. And never, you know, just locked me in this prison in the airport, and then over in Ushiko for almost 9 months altogether. You know.
Yes, Mr. Fischer, excuse me, I just have to translate it for our listeners. Мистер Фишер сказал, что он был заключен в тюрьму в Японии, в городе Усику, в 66 километрах от Токио, и что его заперли в тюрьме, и он был подвержен, в общем, радиации, что в Японии тоже радиация. Вот, и сейчас он должен восстановиться после своего пребывания в тюрьме.
Мистер Фишер, вы так мало общаетесь с журналистами, и та информация, которая поступала к нам, она достаточно ограниченная. Мы бы хотели все-таки знать, и наши слушатели в том числе, немного подробнее, что послужило причиной ареста и вот таких жестких мер по отношению к вам.
So, Mr. Fischer, we have restricted information about you, lack of information about you, because you gave your interviews for journalists, and we just want to have more information about you. Could you tell us what was the reason of your arrest? Why were you imprisoned and locked in prison?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to just give today's date. Today is what? What is today's day?
The day is today?
Yeah.
Sunday?
Sunday what?
The 15th of May.
Sunday the 15th of May, 2005.
Yes.
And what's the name of your radio station?
Yunost.
Yeah?
Yunost.
Yunost, and where is this? Is this in Moscow?
Yes, in Moscow.
Okay, what is this? What is this? Where is it on the AM? What is it, AM or FM?
AM.
AM on the where is it on the AM band? Yeah.
68.8.
68.8 on the AM band in Moscow, no?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what did you wanted to know why they arrested me, so-called, or kidnapped me?
Yes, kidnap you.
Yeah, well...
What was the real reason, in your opinion, Mr. Fischer?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing before I forget, you know, because when I was in jail, they had a TV there in my cell, you know, and I answered that question, but I just wanted to say something else. I was watching the TV in my cell all the time.
Yes.
And the Japs are constantly complaining about North Korea. How North Korea has kidnapped Japanese citizens and taken them over to North Korea and kept them there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just screaming about it day and night and almost trying to whip up a war fever in Japan against North Korea, you know? For things that happened many years ago. I think this happened, all of this happened at least over a decade ago or several decades ago, you know? So the point is, I just want to say what filthy hypocrites the Japanese government is to talk about North Korea kidnapping Japanese when the Japanese kidnapped me, you know? The Japanese government kidnapped me, and not only they kidnapped me, but they dragged me near a leaking nuclear power plant, you know? I mean, absolutely vicious and unheard of. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Fischer, please, I just had to translate it.
Yeah.
Мистер Фишер сказал, что и в Японии его похитили и, в общем, заточили в тюрьме. Вот.
Какова причина?
Наверное, они просто хотели разрушить его карьеру, вообще навредить ему, просто потому что он смотрел все время телевизор, и за ним следили постоянно.
А кто является инициатором похищения? И какова причина все-таки? Какое предъявили ему обвинение?
So, Mr. Fischer, are you hearing me, yes?
I'm here, I hear you good, yeah.
Yes. Okay, could you tell us the real reason of your kidnapping?
Yeah, okay.
Why do you think so? What was the reason for America to behave in such a way?
Well, let me explain what happened first, okay? I was at the airport there in Narita, and I was I was getting ready to take a flight to the Philippines, right? I had been in Japan for almost 3 months, almost 90 days. My visa was for 90 days. I had come into Japan from Hong Kong on April 13th, 2004. And then I was about to leave on I came in on, I think, April 15th, rather. April 15th, 2004. And now I'm about to leave on July 13th, 2004, you see? Because my visa was for 90 days, and I had been there, like, I think about 88 days, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm at the airport now, getting ready to take a flight to the Philippines, you see? And then suddenly, they kidnapped me there at the airport and threw me into jail. They kidnapped me with violence. You know, about 10 guards jumped me and carried me horizontally to the prison zone, threw me in, almost killed me. You see? Then the next day, they gave me a document. They claimed the reason they arrested me was because I entered the country on April 15th, 2004, illegally, you see?
Yes.
That my passport or my visa was not good. They didn't explain that all these documents are on the internet, you know.
Yes.
In any event, can I give the internet site just in passing here so people know where to go if they want to follow up on this case? Can I give the internet site?
We haven't got it. No, I don't know.
No, can I tell it to you? Can I tell it to you?
Could you tell me what?
The internet site where people can go to get more information about my case.
Yes,
I'll give you,
of course.
HTTP
Yes.
home.att.ne.jp/moon/Fischer/ and the name Fischer, F-I-S-C-H-E-R. That's how it's spelled, F-I-S-C-H-E-R. Anyway, okay, so just so people can go there and get all the documents that I'm referring to. So anyway, they threw me in jail there, and then like the next day, they gave me a document that they said that that to the effect that I had entered the country with an invalid passport or with an invalid visa on April 15th, 2004, which was, you know, absolutely untrue. And they gave no explanation for this charge, and they've never given any explanation for this charge. And then this was on July 14th.
Мистер Фишер, я just translate. Мистер Фишер рассказывает нам о том, как его арестовали. Это произошло в 2004 году в аэропорту в Японии, что он прилетел только из Гонконга и был 3 дня в Японии, собирался вылететь на Филиппины. Как в аэропорту его задержали и припроводили в тюрьму, не объяснив причин и сказав, что у него просроченный паспорт и, соответственно, поэтому он не может лететь, что его паспорт недействительный. Мистер Фишер также сказал сайт, на котором наши слушатели могут получить более подробную информацию об этом деле и получить все подробности.
Yeah. So then the next day, some bastard who said he was supposedly from the then the next day, okay, I'm in my cell, right? And the Jap guards come into my cell, right? I hit the airport, and they say, you have a visitor from the American Embassy. I said, I don't want to see anybody from the American Embassy. And they says, we're not asking you, we're telling you, you have no choice. I said, I'm not going. And then they started to grab me again the same way they had the previous night, lifting me up to take me over to see somebody from the American Embassy. Can you imagine this?
Yes.
So anyway, I was already hurting from the day before when they had carried me and thrown me into the cell. So after they lifted me up, then I walked to meet the guy from the American Embassy. And he wouldn't tell me his name. He just said his name is Peter. He says that his last name is none of my business, you see. Anyway, he already had destroyed my passport.
Yes.
Within 24 hours of my arrest, the Japs had given the Americans my passport, and either the Americans or the Japs, or both of them in collusion, had destroyed my perfectly valid U.S. passport.
Yes, Mr. Fischer, but maybe they just wanted you to pay in taxes.
No, there's never been any charge about me paying taxes in the U.S. What do you mean? Don't say they just wanted me to pay in taxes like it's a perfectly normal thing to arrest somebody and throw him in jail and destroy his passport without any charges. What do you mean they just wanted me to pay in taxes?
Мистер Фишер сказал, что, наверное, скорее всего, его арестовали не потому, что он не хотел платить налоги с тех денег, которые он выиграл на чемпионате в 92 году, когда он играл с Борисом Спасским. За это людей в тюрьму не сажают. Скорее всего, были другие причины, совершенно непонятные для него, почему его посадили в тюрьму. И так обошлись с ним нехорошо.
У меня вопрос. Вы сказали о том, что Америка это зло. Кто это зло и придает ли это... И относится ли это к Америке или, я имею в виду, к обычным жителям этой страны, либо к правительству?
So, Mr. Fischer, you said that USA is evil. Who is that evil? The president of USA or all its citizens?
Well, of course, the president is evil. Everybody knows that. But, I think quite a large number of Americans, I don't know what the real percentage is, you can't, know from these polls at all. But I think quite a large percentage of Americans are still going along with this government, right? And I've even talked to some people over there. They say that we're loyal Americans. We support President Bush, And so you cannot completely exonerate the American people. They should overthrow the government, And also these soldiers are going over there, right?
Yes.
I mean, this war must have some support,
Мистер Фишер сказал, что, конечно, зло Америки это прежде всего ее президент, но американцы тоже, которые поддержали такого президента.
Мистер Фишер, у меня к вам вопрос. Вы много говорите о президенте Буше и отзываетесь не всегда о нем, естественно, лестно. А что-нибудь вы знаете о президенте России, о Владимире Путине?
So, Mr. Fischer, you speak a lot about American presidents. Do you have any opinion about our Russian president, Putin? Have you got any information of him?
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about Putin. I just want to say something else. This tax thing is all bullshit. The U.S. government has never charged me with any tax violation. What their charges against me are for they indicted me in December 15, 1992 for playing chess in Yugoslavia. Nothing to do with taxes. So let's put that to rest. There are no charges whatsoever against me tax-wise. Okay, that's just Jew propaganda. All right.
Propaganda from what side? From America?
From America, yeah, mainly from America. But, the Jews are working together all over the world. Okay, but we'll get back to that. Let me get over to, what was your question about Mr. Putin? What do you want to know about him? Yeah.
I mean your opinion about Mr. Putin. Have you gotten any information about him? What's your opinion about his actions, about him, just as a president, as a politician?
Well, I think he's doing some really good things with this Khodorkovsky case, Hello?
Yes,
yeah, this Khodorkovsky case, he put him in jail for, I don't know what the charges are, having to do with taxes or corruption or whatever, right?
Yes.
There's no question, this Khodorkovsky is a Jewish robber baron. You got a whole bunch of those guys who are billionaires and, and they have outrageous sums of money Where they got it, how they got it, nobody knows exactly. It's all, corruption. All this was, this was under Yeltsin, I guess, right?
Yes.
So, and also this Khodorkovsky, I read this already right after he was arrested, not long after he was arrested. When was that, a year or two ago?
Yes.
Anyway, after, he is connected to one of the Rothschilds over there in England. He has a contract with them and an agreement with them. He's like a partner with the Rothschilds. You know that?
No.
Yes. Check it out. You check it out. He's a partner with the Rothschilds. And so this would basically be a Jewish and even a foreign takeover of, of Yukos oil. That's what I think they were angling for. They would put the company into maybe it would be owned by an English by the Rothschilds of England, and then if Russia touched the company, then they would say this is like an act of war. You're stealing, billions of dollars of foreign company. You're trying to expropriate a foreign company. So I think that was one of the thoughts of Putin when he arrested Khodorkovsky. You understand? I think this is a good thing that he's doing. A number of these Jewish robber barons they're in England and elsewhere, right? Putin is trying to extradite them back to Russia, right?
Yes.
So I think this is good, what he is doing regarding these Jewish robber barons. I think in Russia, I think this is really excellent, and I was really amazed that he is doing it, because naturally he's getting Jews all over the world infuriated, because the Jews they're all working together,
Yes. So, Mr. Fischer, I had to translate.
Okay.
So, Mr. Fischer сказал, что он доволен тем, политикой президента Путина, и он очень правильно сделал, что арестовал Ходорковского, который имел дела с Ротшильдами в Англии. So, Mr. Fischer, we have next question.
Yeah, I want to continue. So there are a number of these Jewish robber barons. I think there's Berezovsky, Abramov, right? A whole bunch of them. And I think he's doing a really good thing regarding them.
I had translated.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Okay. Мистер Фишер сказал, что Путин правильно сделал, что арестовал Ходорковского, и, в принципе, то же самое, и наказал таких людей, как Березовский, Абрамович. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, now regarding the war in Chechnya, I don't really understand what's happening there, because I thought that General Lebed had made some kind of peace there. Remember? That was back in the 90s when Yeltsin appointed him, remember, to try and make peace in Chechnya. And I thought it had quieted down, but now apparently it's going again. I would really like to see, if they somehow if they cannot make peace there, and if the pan-Arab world and the Muslim world, cannot work together with Russia to bring down the USA, to finish off the filthy USA. You see, I hate to see Russia fighting with the involved in this.
With the USA, yes?
No. I hate to see Russia fighting with the Muslim fundamentalists or with the Muslim world. I'd like to see if they could not work out some kind of understanding and work together to bring down the U.S. You see.
Yes.
Russia and the Muslim and the pan-Arab world, the Arab world, work together to bring down the U.S. I think this is much more productive than fighting this war in Chechnya.
Okay, I had to translate it. Мистер Фишер сказал, что Россия должна работать вместе со всем исламским миром, чтобы опрокинуть Америку.
Я бы хотела все-таки перейти к политической теме, к шахматным делам, и поэтому у меня есть вопрос к мистеру Фишеру. Есть ли у вас друзья среди шахматистов российских, и как вы относитесь к тому, что сейчас в шахматном мире произошел раскол, и как вы относитесь к русской шахматной школе, и как вы еще относитесь к уходу Гарри Каспарова из шахмат?
So, Mr. Fischer, what's your opinion about Russian chess school? What do you think about splitting chess worlds on the whole? I mean that there are a lot of tournaments and there is no one world chess champion. What do you think about it?
Well, I don't know if there's no one world chess champion. You're talking to him right now, you know. There's everything that happened back in 75 was completely illegal, you know. But I have absolutely no interest in the old chess. The game is dead. It's just all prearrangement and memorization. But let me get back to this case in Japan, okay? What they did to me. You didn't let me finish. You're jumping from one topic to another, you know? Okay,
yes, please continue, Mr. Fischer.
Yeah. Okay. They took me to see this guy from the U.S. Embassy, right? I'm over there in jail, right? They took me into a room to see this guy from the U.S. Embassy, who wouldn't even tell me his last name. He just told me his first name was Peter. Told me his last name doesn't concern me. And that's all I say on that internet site. You just go to the statement of facts, and there I explained. It's all explained in detail what happened. So. And then he's there, and then they destroyed my passport. And then after this guy, and the guy from the U.S. Embassy, he said he's going to leave me my destroyed passport, what's left of it. But he didn't leave it. He just took it back to the embassy with him. And then the Jap guards came in right after he left, and they gave me a letter. This is a letter dated December 11th, 2003. From the American Embassy in Manila, the Philippines, okay? And it's signed by Theodore Allegra, all right? It's all on the internet. Now, according to this letter, my passport was revoked on that date, on December 11th, 2003, you see?
Mm-hmm.
But this letter revoking my passport is totally fake. It was just a photocopy, not the original letter, if there ever was an original letter. I don't think there ever was. It's just a photocopy of a letter with a photocopied signature. It had no address to me on it. No address at all. It just had the Manila U.S. Embassy in the Philippines. It had no address to me. It had no postmark, had no nothing. See? So it's a totally absurd letter. And on this basis, they put me in jail 9 months and never allowed me to see the judge or go to court. I mean, it's totally, obviously a fake letter. Obviously a totally fake letter, you know? No address to me. Has no address on it. I never saw this letter, never heard of it until after they had destroyed after they had kidnapped me and you know, they would call it arrested me and destroyed my passport. That's the first time they showed me this letter regarding a revocation. But the letter is it's garbage. No signature, no original signature, no postmark, no address on it. A nonsensical letter. And also they gave me some kind of they showed like the law. These are like photocopies of the U.S. Legal code regarding your passport. But this legal code they gave me was out of date. It wasn't even an up-to-date legal code. So it was just absolutely nonsensical and illegal in every way. This was nothing but a kidnapping. Everyone knows it. You know, the U.S. government is just so filthy and corrupt, just like what they're doing over in Guantanamo and Abu Ghraib prisons. You know, and prisons in Afghanistan. I think over in Kandahar, and they're just criminal bastards. You know, the U.S. government, animals. You know.
Yes.
And the Japs are working with them. This Koizumi government, the Liberal Democratic Party, it's not a party. It's just an occupation government of Japan, an occupational government of Japan. The government in Japan has no more legitimacy than the new government, so-called the new government over there in Iraq. It's just a puppet government set up by the Americans.
Mr. Fischer, I just had to translate it. Мистер Фишер сказал, что его задержание в Японии было совершенно нелегальное, что до этого ему прислали письмо с обвинением, в котором не было ни реальной подписи человека, ни марки наклеены. Это было абсолютно подложное письмо. И мистер Фишер также сказал про Демократическую партию Японии, которая является абсолютно недемократической, и просто это оккупация Японии. И что его арестовали совершенно незаконно.
Я бы хотела все-таки вернуться к шахматам. Вы мистер Фишер изобрели свои шахматы, только, к сожалению, мы не знаем, как их играть, и немножко не могли бы рассказать нам об этом. И как вы думаете, станут ли они популярными?
Mr. Fischer, could we turn back to chess? I mean, your chess, you invented your own chess, right?
Yeah, you know, I have no objection to talk. Yeah, I have my Fischer random. I don't have, but you know, we're dealing with a really, you know, outrageous kidnapping by the filthy Jew-controlled U.S. government, and I think it really, you know, it really merits, you know, further discussion. But okay, what do you want to know about the Fischer random? Tell me.
So you invented your own chess. What differs them from old chess, and do you think they will be popular with people? I mean, your own chess, Fischer's chess.
I think it will be. I think it will be. The Jews, of course, they don't like Fischer random because it's a game of skill, and it's much harder to prearrange. And also, they don't have any organization controlling Fischer random. You see, like FIDE controls chess, and then some other upstart organizations also are controlling chess, but then no organization is controlling Fischer random, you see?
Yes.
So the Jews, they feel that it's very hard for them to control the game, very hard for them to cheat in the game, and they don't like it at all. But it's a much superior game to chess.
Yeah, but Mr. Fischer, not only Jews play chess. Maybe for ordinary people from other nations, maybe your chess will be popular with them.
Yeah, I hope so. Yes, I hope so. Yes.
So, Mr. Fischer, what do you think about splitting chess world today? I mean, that there.
I could care less. I could care less about the old chess and the old chess politics. You know. My only interest in the old chess is to show how all the different prearranged matches that have been held. For example, the Karpov-Kasparov match, 84-85. I've studied that match quite thoroughly. It was prearranged, move by move. Every single move of every single game of that match was prearranged. And I believe all of the Karpov-Kasparov matches were prearranged move by move. I believe the Karpov-Korchnoi matches were also prearranged move by move. Every move of every game.
So, the match between Karpov and Kasparov was prearranged, yes?
Absolutely. Well, they played 5 matches. I believe they were all prearranged move by move, every move of every game. Yeah, this is my honest opinion. But I've studied in particular the first match, 84-85, and there's absolutely no question every move of every game, and every game was prearranged. Yeah, absolutely no question about that. And I'm quite sure all of Karpov's so-called World Championship matches were prearranged move by move. And I'm also quite sure that going back even further to his matches with so-called candidates matches with Spassky and the so-called candidate matches with Korchnoi back there in 1974, I'm sure those were also prearranged move by move. Yeah, I'm quite sure. But there's no question at all about the 84-85 match. That I think it was like, what, 47 games or something? That was prearranged move by move. There's no question about that. Absolutely no question.
Had you translated? Мистер Фишер сказал, что он больше совершенно не интересуется старыми шахматами, и все те матчи, которые сейчас проводятся и которые проводились, они заранее подготовлены, все просчитано шаг за шагом, и заранее известно, кто победит. Например, был такой матч между Карповым и Каспаровым, где также все было заранее оговорено.
У меня вопрос к мистеру Фишеру. Гарри Каспаров говорит о том, что вы являетесь одним из лучших шахматистов в мире. И он очень высокого мнения о вас. Были ли у вас отношения какие-то и дружеские, может быть, с Гарри Каспаровым, и, может быть, вы общались? Что вы думаете о нем как о шахматисте и о его уходе?
So, Mr. Fischer, we talked with Garry Kasparov, and he said that he supposed you to be the best among chess players. What do you think about Kasparov's living chess? What do you think about him as a man, as a person?
Look, anybody who prearranges matches, right, is obviously a crook. The man is a crook. He's an absolute crook, you know. He is a liar, he is a crook, he is a criminal. I always refer to him as the criminal. I don't even call him Kasparov or by his original name of Weinstein. I call him the criminal, you know. And also now he's trying to get involved in politics, you know, against Putin. You know, to me, if Kasparov attacks Putin, that's like an endorsement for Putin, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you know.
Мистер Фишер сказал, что он про Каспарова может сказать только плохое, что он все матчи договорные, что Каспаров он лжец и, в общем, криминальный деятель, и то, что он сейчас пытается пойти в политику, устроить кампанию против Путина, это тоже его никак не характеризует с лучшей стороны. So, Mr. Fischer,
this man Kasparov is evil, you know. I have been saying for years somebody should ask Kasparov live about my charges that his match in 84-85 so-called World Championship match with Karpov, my charges that every move of every game was prearranged. They should ask Kasparov this, and then tape record his voice live, and you will see he is lying. Then they can run his voice through a voice lie detector. You will see he is lying, but you won't even need a voice lie detector. You'll just be able to tell it from his nervousness, you know.
Yes.
There's no question. The man it's so obvious. Study the match. I mean, it's so, you know, it's so utterly obvious. Just a second, and I'll be back in about 3 seconds. I just want to get the book. I have the book of the match. 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the book. This is the Moscow Marathon, you know.
Yes.
This is a book by Spielman and Tisdale. And, I mean, these games are so utterly absurd, you know.
You mean what game? Kasparov against who?
Against Karpov-Kasparov, this 1984-85 match, you know. It's just so utterly absurd, the match, you know. So just so obviously, I think it was 48 games, yeah, 48 game matches. I just wanted to check that too. 48 games. It's a totally, I mean, for example, one game, this is game number 6 of that match, the 84-85 match. They transposed into another game that had been played before. In an end game, which it's like 1,000,000,000 to 1 possibility that they would reach the same position. You know, they transposed into the game. Let's see.
You just could check.
This was a game, McGrillen-Formanek, London, 1973. So this move. When Kasparov, when Karpov played the 51 Rook B2, transposes with colors reversed into a game that had been played over 10 years earlier, like 12 years, 11 years, 11, 12 years earlier. Totally absurd. You know?
Yes, I had to say that. Мистер Фишер сказал, что матч между Карповым и Каспаровым был абсолютно фиктивным, и что те же шаги, которые они делали, например, Каспаров, этот матч уже был им сыгран в 1973 году, и он, в общем, и это доказывает, что он был заранее подготовлен. И также Каспаров лжец, потому что если вы проверите его на детекторе лжи, вы увидите, что он явно нервничает. И поэтому, в общем, говорит неправду.
Если вы сейчас не принимаете участие ни в каких турнирах, то, простите за некорректный вопрос, на какие деньги вы живете?
So, Mr. Fischer, our question is about you don't You don't take part in now. You don't take part in the tournaments, right?
Yeah.
But from what resources you have money?
I have about $3.5 million in Switzerland, in the Union Bank of Switzerland. Yeah, but I don't have it in dollars. It's in Swiss francs and you know.
Yes,
various, you know, gold and platinum, silver, you know, stocks, whatever, you know. So that's what I have been living on for many years. But I just want to get back to this match. Like, Game 9 of this 84-85 Karpov-Kasparov match. Game 9, it was a prearranged game based on one of my games with Tony Sadie from the U.S. Championship. That I had played long before their game, before their prearranged game. And if you would go through the match, you would just see the games are so obviously staged, so obvious, you know.
So it was already played by Kasparov, yes, previously, these moves?
No, I say all the games were staged. In other words, like one game, I had played a very similar game with Tony Sadie in the U.S. Championship, and they just took that game and took that end game that I reached, and they reached the same ending by a different route, which is not difficult to do when you're prearranging a game, move by move, and then they embellished on it and made what is supposed to be a brilliant end game by Karpov out of it, you see? It's all totally staged. These guys, this Karpov, Kasparov, and Korchnoi are just, you know, unbelievable criminals. And I've been saying this for years. The Jews say, oh, that's all nonsense, but it's not nonsense. It's the absolute truth, and they know it. You know? Yes. Kasparov is just a gangster. He is a disgrace to chess. He is a disgrace to the human race. He is not something Russia should be proud of. He should join Khodorkovsky in prison. I mean, the crimes he has committed. He has committed a terrible fraud with all of these prearranged games and prearranged matches, you know?
Yes. Каспаров должен сидеть вместе с Кhodorkovskим в тюрьме за вот такие подготовленные заранее игры, матчи.
You people in Russia should wake up to what kind of gangsters your chess, so-called chess heroes and chess stars are, you know, including Karpov, Korchnoi, all of them. They're all just criminals, you know.
Люди в России должны проснуться и наконец увидеть, что Карпов, Каспаров и другие наши чемпионы, они просто гангстеры и криминальные деятели, что их всех надо посадить в тюрьму.
Мистер Фишер, у меня сложилось впечатление, что вы очень хорошо осведомлены о том, что происходит в России. Вы действительно так пристально следите за тем, что происходит в нашей стране, либо вы просто, готовясь к общению с нами, посмотрели какие-то газеты, может, почитали, там, посмотрели выпуски новостей?
Mr. Fischer, you have a lot of information about Russia and about Russian people. Do you keep up with Russia? Maybe you just, before our interview, you watch TV and maybe you look through some magazines, some journals, no? Or you just keep up with our history with Russia?
Yeah, sorry. I read, but mainly I listen to the BBC a lot. I listen to, right now here in Reykjavik, they're on the FM band, 24 hours a day, the BBC World Service, so I listen to that a lot. And then I read, you know, various Jew-controlled publications. I'll read sometimes The Economist or Time magazine, and I read a lot of Jew books, you know, and then you know, I read, of course, I try to read anti-Jew books too, you know. And, but I keep up on the news. I'm following, you know, what's happening there in Russia, in the Ukraine, and what's happening down there in Uzbekistan now, as you know.
Yes. Мистер Фишер сказал, что он следит за нашей историей, за Россией, и он постоянно слушает BBC, которая много рассказывает о России. У него в Исландии, в Рейкьявике, BBC работает 24 часа в сутки. Также он читает газету «Экономист», вот, и узнает оттуда какие-то новости. И вообще он следит за тем, что происходит в России, в Украине, и в частности за тем, что сейчас происходит в Узбекистане.
Мне очень интересно, мистер Фишер, вам пришлось совсем нелегко в эти месяцы заточения в японской тюрьме. Простите, что напоминаю вам опять о этом болезненном времени, но кто остался рядом с вами, кто из близких, друзей, может быть, ваша супруга поддерживали вас морально?
Mr. Fisher, you were present in Japan, and our listeners just like to know who supported you when you were prisoned. Maybe it will be it was your wife, yes?
No, I'm not married. No, I don't have a wife yet.
But I mean, Miyoko Watai. She supported.
Oh yeah. She's a very good friend of mine. She helped me a lot. You have to try to get me out of there. Yeah. Get out of, get away from the kidnappers, to get free.
Мистер Фишер сказал, что действительно Мiyoko Watai его поддерживал, когда он был в тюрьме, помогал ему всячески помогла ему освободиться из тюрьмы, но он не женат, она не является его женой, и она просто его близкий, хороший друг.
You know, this talk about marrying her, this was just purely a legal maneuver, or I was just humoring my kidnappers, they because they would not let me go to court, they would not let me go free, so this marriage stuff is, while you're kidnapped is complete nonsense,
Mr. Fisher, are you going to be married with Miyoko Watai, or it was just for your?
No, I'm not going to. No. We're just good friends,
Окей. Мистер Фишер сказал, что они с Мийоко Ватай, которая является также президентом Японской Федерации шахмат, они жениться не собираются, и все это было сделано для того, чтобы просто помочь ему освободиться из тюрьмы, но она является его очень близким другом, близким и хорошим другом.
No, this is just, I'm just humoring my kidnappers, When you're kidnapped, you're not bound by any agreement you make with the kidnappers, You just tell them, you humor them, you tell them what they want to hear to try and get out, you know what I mean?
Yes. Мистер Фишер сказал, что вот вся эта история, то есть его женитьбы, это он просто таким образом решил посмешить своих посетителей и, в принципе, сделать то, что они от него хотели, потому что договориться с ними было невозможно.
Let me just say, about the U.S. and the Japs, they're the same, because the Japan, or Japland, as I call it, it's controlled by the U.S. They don't really have their own government there, But they're always bellyaching about democracy and all this crap. When they the Japs kidnapped me, put me in jail for 9 months, and I was never allowed to go to court, never allowed to see the judge for 9 months. What kind of due process of law is that? So this was, the Japs and the Americans are the worst hypocrites, and the U.S., after all the crimes they've committed, they're still talking about human rights. They've still got some, they're complaining this country and that country is not living up to their standards of human rights. Well, they are the worst violators of human rights in the world, the U.S. They're poisoning Iraq with depleted uranium, killing hundreds of thousands of people. And the Japs are just following the U.S., like sheep. The Japs are following the U.S. to their own destruction. They built 60 nuclear power plants there, turned the country, practically turning the country into a radioactive wasteland, Japan is an accident waiting to happen, and Japan is a nuclear accident waiting to happen.
Мистер Фишер сказал, что Америка и Япония, они одинаковы в том смысле, что Япония находится под полным контролем Америки, и даже в Японии нет своего собственного правительства. И он содержался когда он был в тюрьме, вот за 9 месяцев ему даже ни разу не позволили увидеть судью и ни разу не выводили его в суд. То есть его задержание было абсолютно незаконным.
You know, the Jap said the only way you can get out of jail is you have to marry a Japanese, you know. But,
чтобы освободиться из тюрьмы, единственный выход был по японским законам, он должен был жениться на Миёко Ватай, на японце.
Yeah, but so I just humored them, but I'm not married to her. No, that's complete nonsense. You know?
Я просто повеселил их, я не женился на ней, это просто был розыгрыш.
I'm really disappointed with the Japs. You know, I thought that they were decent people. I couldn't believe, you know, the way these Jap immigration guards just threw me into jail like this suddenly. You know, I mean, they're just pigs. The Japs, really, just pigs. You know. This Koizumi is a gangster. This guy has to be punished. This guy, I think, when he's going to have to flee one day to the filthy U.S. You know, once this occupational government over there in Japan is overthrown, he's going to have to spend his last days in the U.S. playing, playing rock and roll music and watching American movies, you know.
Мистер Фишер сказал, что он очень разочаровался в японцах и в Японии вообще, и что вот за такие действия они должны быть наказаны.
Yeah.
Mr. Fischer, how do you think
Мистер Фишер, у меня к вам вопрос. А почему в качестве страны, которая вам предложила свое гражданство, выступила Исландия? Это ваш выбор или это Исландия предложила вам?
Mr. Fischer, why Iceland helped you? How do you think it was your reason to move to Iceland, or it was the initiative of Iceland Chess Federation?
No, the Iceland Chess Federation had nothing to do with this at all. I contacted my old friend, my bodyguard from '72, my '72 match with Spassky. After I got kidnapped by the Japs, I called him from jail, and we were talking, you know, and eventually he got the Icelandic government to first to grant me like a political asylum, and then later, when the Japs still wouldn't let me out, then he got the Icelandic government to give me citizenship. I have a new Icelandic 10-year passport, by the way. I just got it. I got it about a few days ago.
Yes. Исландская федерация шахмат здесь совершенно ни при чем. Я просто обратился за помощью к своему телохранителю, который присутствовал со мной на матче со Спасским, и он помог мне переселиться в Исландию. So, Mr. Fischer, could you tell us the name of your bodyguard who helped you to move?
That's the Sammy Paulson.
His name, его имя Самуэль Полсон.
Yeah. And
Yes.
No, yeah, he was the one. He was the main driver behind getting me out of here, you know. I mean, getting me out of Japan, getting me over here, you know.
Это был тот человек, который помог, Самуэль Полсон, помог ему во всем, и в том, чтобы переехать в Исландию в том числе, и оказал неоценимую помощь.
Удивительно, что только один человек предложил вам помощь. Неужели на всем земном шаре нет других людей, ваших поклонников вашего таланта очень много? Неужели не нашлось ни одного человека, ни одной страны, которая протянула бы вам руку помощи и сказала, что мы поможем вам?
Mr. Fischer, it's amazing that only Samuel Paulson, your bodyguard, tried to help you, but there are a lot of other people who maybe are your friends and your close friends. Why they didn't help you, but only Samuel Paulson? But there are so many fans of your talent.
Well, I wouldn't say nobody else tried to help me, you know. It's a little bit too strong. Miyoko, my friend Miyoko over there in Japan tried to help me, and, you know.
Mr. Fischer, when you first met with Miyoko Batai?
When I met her back in 73, I think it was. Yeah, 73. Yeah, I had just was in the Philippines and I was dropping by Japan. Yeah.
So you know her from 1973, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Fischer, and the last question.
Yeah. The last question? It's over?
Я бы хотела узнать, мистер Фишер, на ваш взгляд, каким будет наш мир через 10 или, может быть, даже 100 лет?
Mr. Fischer, in your opinion, what will be our world looks like? How does it will looks like in 10 years or maybe 100 years? In your opinion?
Oh well.
How our world looks like?
Yeah. Well, it's a very, very serious situation now with all these nuclear reactors and nuclear bombs, you know.
Ядерные бомбы, yes.
And unless we can do something about the Jewish problem,
мы должны что-то делать с еврейской проблемой.
And the Jew-controlled United States, you know. I think we're heading toward a nuclear war. That's what I see happening. When I was in Japan, I read in the newspaper, this is a front-page story. It talked about the U.S. is outsourcing, or is talking about outsourcing nuclear strikes. Have you heard about this? This is really unbelievable. In other words, rather than do the nuclear attack themselves, they may give it to a third country to do it for them, so then the U.S. can keep their hands clean or keep some kind of deniability about the nuclear attack. I mean, this sounds like a fantasy, like insanity, but this was on the front page of the Japan Times. You're talking about a country, the United States, that is totally out of control. And it has to be brought down. It is not, a civilized country. It has to be eliminated from the world scene. The United States is evil. It is a rogue country, and the United States, the Jew-controlled United States, started this nuclear arms race. They're the ones who have made this world the hell that it is. They started the nuclear arms race when they built the first atom bomb in the United States. And back there in, I think they exploded it in 1945 in Alamogordo, New Mexico, right? They started it all, and now they're complaining about North Korea and Iran. They don't complain about Israel, of course, but they complain about North Korea and Iran and Pakistan and India and all these other countries that have nuclear weapons. But they started it all. And they want other countries to give up nuclear ambitions, nuclear weapon ambitions, but they themselves are doing nothing about their nuclear bombs. If the United States has any sense left at all, if they want to save the planet, they should unilaterally destroy all of their nuclear weapons. I think that would, because they started it all. They should do that. Of course, it's risky. It'd be risky to do that. But if they don't do it, there is no risk. It's just going to be a certain destruction of the planet. You see. So it's better to take the risk, destroy all of their nuclear weapons, set a good example for the world. Because if they don't do that, there's absolutely no question we're heading toward a nuclear war.
Мистер Фишер сказал, что наш мир находится в серьезной опасности именно из-за ядерного оружия, которым обладают многие страны. И в этой ситуации ему непонятна позиция Америки, которая не разрешает другим странам, соответственно, разрабатывать ядерное оружие, но сама в то же время ничего не делает для уничтожения своего ядерного оружия. И это может закончиться тем, что наша планета вообще будет стерта с лица вообще, то есть исчезнет. И нужно что-то делать, это рискованно, конечно, но нужно уничтожить все ядерное оружие, и только таким образом, это, конечно, рискованно, только таким образом мы сможем выжить в дальнейшем.
Спасибо большое, мистер Фишер. Наше время, к сожалению, подошло к концу. Мы желаем вам здоровья, поправиться, восстановиться. Надеемся на то, что мы еще неоднократно с вами будем связываться, и надеюсь на то, что вы оставите свои координаты.
So, Mr. Fischer, it's a pity, but we haven't got time anymore. So we just want to thank you for our interview and to tell you that you should recover from the prison. Just to you should have a good mood, and just would like to thank you for this interview.
Let me just say one more thing about the nuclear reactors are also insanity. They should all be closed down. The United States was actually encouraging countries to build nuclear power plants, starting back in the 50s with their Atoms for Peace program, right? And now they're all upset that Iran and North Korea about their nuclear power plants. They started it all. The U.S. started it all. All this nuclear madness was started in the USA. It was all started off with a letter from the Jew Albert Einstein, I think, to President-elect Franklin Roosevelt back in about 34. He sent him a letter telling him that he should build an atom bomb, And the U.S. and the Jews, they started the nuclear madness. They are to blame for it. The U.S. should make a grand gesture now, destroy all their nuclear weapons and close down all their nuclear reactors, and that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to destroy all their nuclear weapons according to the Non-Proliferation Treaty, right? The U.S. and Russia and the great powers, they're supposed to destroy their weapons. And they cannot use this nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty against other countries when they themselves have violated it. They cannot say North Korea is violating it, and other countries are violating the nuclear non-proliferation treaty when the U.S. itself is violating it by not destroying their own nuclear weapons. That's the reason these other countries signed it, because they were told this is a way to get rid of nuclear weapons forever. If you agree not to build your own weapons, the great powers, Russia and the U.S. and China, are going to get rid of their own nuclear weapons, you see? That was the bait to get people to sign, to get countries to sign. So countries signed it, and now the U.S. says, well, you're bound by what you signed. Yeah, but the U.S. also signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. They have to keep their part. They haven't kept their part. I'm sure if the U.S. will unilaterally destroy their weapons, nuclear weapons, to get the ball rolling, other countries will follow suit. You know?
Yes. Mr. Fischer, you have been USSR many times. What do you think about Russia today?
What do I think about Russia today?
Yes.
I think Putin is doing some very good things. As I say, this war in Chechnya, I would like to see a peace made there. But I think he's doing some very good things regarding these robber barons and trying to restore law and order there in Russia. And I hope he succeeds in some of the good things he wants to do, and I think I think things are improving, especially compared to Yeltsin. Yeltsin was just a drunkard and a criminal working for the U.S. He was ruining the country, absolutely destroying the country, and I don't like what Gorbachev did either. But Putin, I think he's a mixed bag, but I think he is doing some good things, and I think his heart is in the right place.
Mr. Fischer, what's your future prospects? That's the last question. What's your future prospects?
What is my future prospects?
Your plans for future.
I just want to say one more thing about Putin. I think, as I say, he's a mixed bag. I think, he's trying to accommodate the Jews too much. He went to that opening of that big synagogue in Moscow, and then he went to this Auschwitz memorial, about the Holocaust, which is the rubbish. There was no Holocaust, That's all made up. So but I think he means well overall, you know. But what was it? What did you say about what did you say about me?
I mean, what's about your future prospects? What are you going to do in future?
Well, I want to play Fischer random chess. That's what I'm really hot to play this game. I think this is really a vast improvement over chess, and it's really an exciting game. I'm ready to play anybody if the price is right, if the money is there, you know.
So you play alone on your chess, or with whom are you playing?
No, I don't play it with anybody right now, but I want to play. I'd like to play a real match, a Fischer random, and I have a special clock I want to use with a voice synthesizer and many special features, you know. And I want to play Fischer random chess. I think it will really set the chess world, or even you could say the world, on fire. It's really an exciting game. It's much more interesting than the old chess. It's really a fresh game. It's a game of skill. It's not all. It has nothing to do with memorization. You know. I think this is a game that's time has come, and I'm ready to play. Even the criminal, even the criminal, I'm ready to play him too. Fischer random, you know.
So, Mr. Fischer, and how can we connect with you in future? Maybe you can give us your mobile phone or email.
On the air? Are we on the air or what?
No, I mean, could you give us your mobile phone and email?
Yeah, are we still on the air now?
Mr. Fischer, we're not in the ether now, not on the radio. Could you give us...
we're not on the radio now. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, when was the interview over? When was the interview over?
It's over in 1 minute.
No, we're still on the air right now.
No.
Oh, you mean they're just talking, but we're not on the air?
No, you were on the radio 1 minute before. Just for me, could you give your mobile phone or email, because I'd like to communicate with you in future.
You can call the hotel. Maybe you call me back and we'll talk about it, okay, later, okay?
Okay, yes.
When you leave the radio station, okay?
Yes, okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, the interview's over now, no?
Yes, right. Thank you very much, Mr. Fischer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.